I'm really liking how Maria the Virgin Witch is kind of having clashes of ideologies. Like, I'm really liking how Maria the Virgin Witch is really doing something like this, because in this episode, the main thing that I really love that Maria the Virgin Witch has been trying to do since the very beginning of the series is pushing your ideals on other people, and that is what the main actual plot point of this episode is about. Maria is trying to wonder, is she really doing the wrong thing, pushing her ideals and what she wants to do when it comes to stopping wars, a bad thing. And she's starting to see the ramifications for the stuff she has caused, like stopping wars. She's realized for what she is doing, she's also causing mercenaries to attack innocent towns that they normally would never attack if they were able to go to war. And so with this episode, you have it to where Maria is contemplating in her mind, is she really doing the right thing? And I feel like this is one of the main reasons why I love Maria the Virgin Witch so much, because the overall story aspect of it has me interested because of the ideologies and the ideals of the characters, and I'm wanting to know how Maria could stop these wars in the future, and at the end of the day, will she ever lose her virginity? That's one thing I'm curious about too. But the main thing is, okay, with this series is the actual ideals of Maria just trying to stop wars, and slowly seeing the progression build up from these past couple episodes to this point of this episode. Like, her stopping wars is causing it to where mercenaries are losing gold, they're losing money, and they're being forced to stay in certain towns. Like the one dude that's traveling with our main male character, Joseph, you see it to how he's been talking with this mercenary since like episode 1, and we find out with this episode that the mercenary leader, he can't leave the town because he can't pay the gold to the town mayor, and so they're pretty much running, like, they're running dry. They're running dry on gold, and they can't pay the town expenses, so they have to stay there and wait for, you know, a war or something. So, overall, we're seeing the slow, gradual build-up of the actions Maria has done. Like, the action she has taken is really changing the effect of the world, and necessarily, is this a good or bad thing? That's what the main moral of this episode is what Maria is doing, is it really wrong or good? Because in this episode, we get two extreme examples of what Maria is doing. I mean, majority through the course of the series, we have seen it to where Maria is saving people and stopping wars and saving lives, which is a really good thing. And then in this episode, we get another extreme example on what would cause if Maria continues to interrupt wars. For instance, mercenaries attacking an innocent village when they normally wouldn't. And then another extreme example is if Maria was not there, we get it to where this town that forsaken Maria say, you're a witch, we need to throw you out, we're not going to take medicine from a witch, you know, please forgive me, Lord, stuff like that. We get to see how this extreme in this episode caused it to where the entire village died by the plague, the Black Plague. So, I like how this episode and this series continues to do that. It's showing the extremes on both sides. Like, showing the extreme of what Maria's doing, showing the extreme of what would happen if Maria wasn't there, and also the ramifications of what Maria is actually causing in the world. So, this is what makes this series really shine in my eyes. It really is. And that's, once again, another proving factor when it came to this episode, because you can really tell that this is building up into something really major. Like, what direction is Maria going to take? Is she really going to try to stop wars, or is her ideals going to shift and change for the journey of this series? As I've been told, this series is already done. So, we most likely might get a actual conclusion to this series, a really good conclusion. So, I wonder how this series is really going to end. And I saw Chibi last week actually mentioned something I do want to bring up. So, it's not my theory, actually. I just want to say right now, it's not my theory. It's not what I said. I just got it from a Chibi last week, and I just wanted to mention it to all of you. So, I didn't really realize it, but Maria the Virgin Witch, someone stated that, is that a reference to the Virgin Mary? You know, the Virgin Mary? Yeah, people, I saw a couple of Chibi state, like, maybe Maria the Virgin Witch is, like, a reference to the Virgin Mary, and maybe Maria might become, you know, the Virgin Mary. Maybe that's possible. But, overall, this episode had very steady progression. It just pretty much brought up the ideals of Maria and her ideals into question. That is what this episode was. Pretty simple. Right at the end, you have it to where the priest dude, he says, oh, we need to start a war and all that. And that's the episode in a nutshell, along with, you know, the little, you know, God advisor pretty much saying, like, oh, like, she's changing her viewpoint on what Maria really is. Like, she's starting to realize that Maria really is helping people. So, maybe this might eventually help out Maria in the very end. Maybe she might, you know, get gratitude towards her, like, man, maybe people might congratulate her for actually helping out so many people. We'll have to see. But overall, that is the episode of Maria the Virgin Witch this week. It was a good episode. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.